Oh, fuck, that's the wrong screen. I hate goddamn. Oh, fuck. Hello! Welcome to the OSRL Premier Series. 2 inputs, but we got it right there. We are at the Phoenix International Raceway, the legacy one, as you can see by the old logo on this screen. And it is the Slipstream Signs Wild West 125-mile race. A long name, but deserving of it is Tyler J. Williams, our race sponsor tonight, joining us from the wild sands of Australia and his Slipstream Signs racing machine. Joining me in the booth for our third affair of the OSRL season, and hopefully one of our last to overrun with the Road to Pro calendar, Ben Billard and Josh Morgan. Fellas, what are you thinking about? What are your thoughts on the upcoming race? We got 125 laps here at Phoenix, and Jonathan Oates might be taking a minute to explain what's happening.
It's gonna be a wild one tonight. This Gen 4 and Legacy Phoenix package is a tricky one to say the least. The back half of the speedway from the front straightaway drives a lot like the older version of Atlanta Motor Speedway in these Gen 4 cars, where on throttle time is gonna make or break your lap here. It's so easy to spin coming out of turn 2 and just in the dogleg in general that your long run pace is gonna be about how much you can temper your car when it gets light in the flat parts of the speedway. So that's what we're going to see if we do get a long run. But the question is if we even get a long run at all. This might be just a smash fest like we've seen in years past here at Phoenix International Raceway.
We have a hefty field on hand for us tonight.
45 entries vying for 36 positions here.
That's the most number of entries I think we've had in an OSRL race, a non-speedway 200 race.
Probably since early season 5, around this time in the calendar as well.
Quite a while. So, with nothing further ado, and while the admins, let's see if they're still talking, they are. Let's go through the starting lineup, because I think this is only one lap, and I don't want to miss half the field. So, starting off with our pole sitter, Joe Armstrong and Adam Sweet both went out late in qualifying, and it proved to be the right strategy. 27.766, 6 thousandths clear of Adam Sweet in second. Brandon Hawken just behind them. He went out a little bit earlier, another 6/1000 separating second to third, and Joshua Chin a little bit further back in fourth. Stephen Gibson and Ryan Dunkelberger, a couple of rookies, will be in row 3. Triff Davis, last week's winner with Harry Grindell, in row 4, and AJ Green and Cole Fralick rounding out your top 10. Spencer Ray and Jack Painter will be in 11th and 12th, with Ethan Stuckwish and Caden Reif in row 7. Josh Goslin and Nolan Sanford in 15th and 16th, a couple of OSRL veterans in row 8. Mo Perry and Nate Stewart in row 9, and Doug Newbegin and Isaac Johnson rounding out our top 20. We still got 16 cars to go. Nathan Kiani and Chris Pervalericus are in row 11, with CJ Nemitz and Paul Mikalishik in row 12. Right behind them, our race sponsor, Tyler Williams and Kevin D'Elia in the 75 car. Wesley, that one skipped a little too fast. Wesley Pearson and William Schmidt, my apologies, in row 14. And we have Tristan Baker and, I believe, a driver making his first appearance in OSRL, Greg Kalhoff, in the 63. Row 16 will be Marty Farrell and Aiden Walker. Aiden was very close to victory. I believe that was in the Speedway 200 that we talked to him, so he's looking to come all the way from the back of the field. Jack Lauer, Ryan Pandicio in row 17, and the last row in the field that made it into this race, Gavin Newton and Gary Waterworth. Gary spun out on his first qualifying lap and had to make a last-ditch effort. The drivers here are drivers that didn't qualify, so Brandon Sampson, Case Collenbach, Michael Dyke, Ruby Estes, Joshua Lizaswain, one of our rookies, Alexander Balderas, Sean Begley, the other driver who did not put up a time. Tyler Lannon was here as well, but he has some serious iBuy power
believed that
PC
Lannon
issues.
had an engine issue before his lap was not able to come back to the stripe, so he is unfortunately a DNQ. But we are rolling here at Phoenix Raceway, looking at the back half of the track. This is potentially Calamity Corner once we get going at the start of this race.
And I believe that we're only going to have one lap here, so we actually have some trouble. Adam Sweet, has he not taken
not
grid? He
He did
does.
not grid.
I don't I don't know. He's done this many times before. I don't know why. So
Even Walker might not have gridded
Uh,
either.
Joshua Chin will assume. I think we're gonna have the pace car off here. So guys, who are your picks?
I got Brendan Hawken.
That's a solid pick. Josh Morgan, who's your pick?
I'm
They
gonna
go
go with
here, not in
Joe.
turn one.
I'm gonna go with Joe. He's the pole sitter. He's gonna lead us to the green flag here in Phoenix.
And you can already see some wheel hop with Ryan Dunkelberger on the outside there. Joe will dart to the lead through turns 1 and 2, 2 by 2 behind him. There's Shrift Davis, last week's winner, trying to get clear of AJ Green and others. This is Dunkelberger's highest running position so far in an OSRL race, making his debut as a rookie. You don't see the yellow stripes on the back of his car, but this is his first season in the series, and Joe Armstrong will lead the first lap as they continue to do battle behind.
Freilich went to the inside of Steven Gibson on the inside of the front straightaway to try and take the position. Not able to do so through 1 and 2. Goes back in line, still looking at Chin and Dunkelberger. Chin has the bottom line. He's going to be able to clear him. That's going to open the door for Brandon Hawken and Harry Grindel to go after Dunkelberger in the 26.
Oh, we got a caution. Trouble in the middle of the pack. Pandicio, I see going down. Josh Gosselin. That happened right around 15th or so, it appears. Let's see.
Yeah, P17.
Oh, Gosselin. Ooh. Big time loose there on the apron.
Gets a shot from Newbigging.
So I saw Ryan Pandicio's car dropping down the leaderboard as well. I'm not sure if that was at all related or maybe just him trying to avoid what was going on up here. Yeah, it appears to be that way. Let's go on board. Yeah, you see right there, he gets below that a dotted white line on the bottom, and that's a very flat part of the surface, not a ton of grip, and even gets loose before that. And then he flattens out onto that pretty much pit entry area, and then he goes for a ride, but really no harm, no foul. He's got that rear end damage, but he should be okay. Let's see what the 71's looking like. Douglas Newbigging from the rear of Paul Mikulishik. Looks pretty good. Should be fine. There's a little bit of damage on the left side.
Yeah, you can see the SS in Impala.
Oh, don't stop driving away. You're not helping.
A little bit. Okay.
Little bit. Yeah, what a hell. Yeah, Paul knows what he's doing there. You see it right there. Just a little
like
bit.
A little bit of scratching around the Impala SS logo type.
Hell yeah. Shout out to Paul.
Oh, no.
What happened? What?
What happened?
Green Bay almost muffed the punt.
Oh. It is also Thursday Night Football.
It was 24-3, 9 minutes remaining in the second quarter. The Detroit Lions are whipping. And Tyler Lannon is reporting that his computer is alive. It works. It's good to hear. But I don't think he was able to put up a lap, unfortunately. So Aiden Walker, he went a full lap down as a result of not starting the race. Adam Sweet was able to stay on the lead lap. He is in the pits here. That's Adam he's got a weird way of going about these OSRL races. You know, he's got really good short run speed, but we almost never get to see what his long run speed's like because he starts from the pits or he's kind of buried in the middle of the pack due to something like that, or even maybe some unfortunate luck. We saw that last year at Bristol where he was fast and he was trying to be fast and lead.
And also,
I
believe it was Milwaukee as well.
That too, yes. So we got the Starfield machine. It's a nice looking race car. Did you guys see William Byron's HP paint scheme?
I have.
I did not.
The
HPZ machine. Really bad.
Oh.
It's not good.
I'm
gonna put it up here on the feed. I need to find a sideways angle of it because it's bad. It's objectively not the greatest. as it appears we are doubling up, so we'll only have to do this. But I mean,
Yeah, that's not good.
that sucks.
That is not good.
Z. Like that's just a
That is not.
that's just a very
Like,
uninspired is a
like,
great word as
honest,
Sean Begley used.
a good stock car livery goes front to back, not bottom to top. And this goes bottom to top and then front to back way too late. It's weird. It doesn't look like it should be on a NASCAR stock car, if that makes sense.
I get what you're saying there. It does make sense.
Like, you put that on, like, you know, like a TCR car, like a GT3 car, it'll contrast with the fact that the car looks complicated, sure, but on a stock car, nah, not really. Anyways, we are coming to a restart. Joe Armstrong, Joshua Chin will be leading us on the first restart of the night.
And something there to keep an eye on in future restarts. Joe able to get a great jump there. We saw that on the original start of the race as well, able to easily and comfortably clear down into turn 1 without any pressure from Joshua Chin. Ryan Dunkelberger under pressure now from Brandon Hawken, and they're side by side behind between Grindel and Gibson. Everybody jockeying for position here while the tires are still have a little bit of life to them.
The only other people that pit during that caution were Wesley Pearson alongside Adam Sweet and Aiden Walker and Gosselin for repair. So they are deep in the field, just hoping that the 5-lap difference tires will make a difference, but they have so much of the pack to go through. On board with Caden Rife at the moment. In front of him is Spencer Ray and AJ Green. AJ Green, top 5 pace in practice, kind of mired in the pack at the moment.
And everybody trying to just figure out what their line is, figure out how much they have to drive these cars into the corner. You saw there with Caden, just a little bit of over-aggressiveness as Mo Perry got sideways in the back of the shot. He's okay. He actually was able to kind of motion it towards that dog leg in the backstretch of this racetrack. But
that's what we saw a lot in practice, just people getting all out of shape when the rear gets light. Good save from Mo Perry, our Speedway 200 winner. He is currently under attack by a couple of cars, the 49 of Privilericus and Newbigging on his outside flank as well.
And this is some heated racing here back in the mid-pack. This is for 18th, 19th, 20th. Up a little bit further ahead, Nate Stewart going underneath Mika Leshik. Oh, and Mo Perry gets turned!
Oh!
I take my eyes off of the screen for a second. It's Kiani as well, and another car,
Kiani
Kevin
collected
D'Elia.
someone else in there. It was D'Elia.
And that looked like just a case of somebody getting into the corner a little bit too hard. I'm going to have to take a look at it again. That 75 car is destroyed.
Missing its entire front clip, turned it into a modified with Kiani coming back down in the middle of 1 and 2.
And there's Mo right behind him. Let's take a look at what happened to start this. It looked like Mo got turned from behind. Moves up, and then, yeah, Kiani just got in a little bit too hard there, and then Kiani and D'Elia after the fact.
Nathan Kiani caused the wreck and threw the caution himself.
Huh. Well, I mean,
so
it was also a multi-car wreck.
The admins are doing, off-track admins are doing.
Oh, I don't have game audio turned on. That's why.
Oh
I appreciate you saying. I appreciate you. I had it muted. I appreciate you, Zigzag or Zigag. ZIGAG
1912. We just figured out.
Shit.
Muted.
You guys, we've heard you guys perfectly fine the whole time. Just haven't heard these ruptuous ARCA racing machines. So it's just been like a podcast, pretty much, like a voiceover.
They're calling the wreck on Mo Perry.
Okay.
For what?
I don't know.
He went up to get out of the way of moving because he would clear all around, and then Yanni accelerated at a rate that was much faster than the cars around him. thus running into the back of Mo.
We're gonna bring
And
in Mo
Mo
Perry.
Perry was at fault, apparently.
We're gonna bring Mo Perry in.
I'm at a loss for words for that.
Mo Perry.
Hello.
How the fuck was that your fault?
I don't fucking know. I braked even later than I normally do. But everything's my fucking fault in this goddamn league.
We're as
That's
baffled
certainly a
as you are.
decision.
So
I
I just wanted to get your input because I didn't know if you wanted to be like, nah, I actually did something. But
Nope. I was, in fact, trying so hard to review it that I'm putting myself a goddamn lap down. I genuinely do not understand why I even fucking run this league half the goddamn time. It's fucking ridiculous.
well, I certainly understand your frustrations. There will be some cautions, hopefully, to get you back in this thing. So send him back up to Race Channel 2. I didn't want to. I honestly, he said what
He voiced his
wanted to say.
opinions.
He said what he wanted to say, and I'm happy for him. And you know what?
I agree with him.
And if I got blamed for that, I would be kind of pissed off too, and I would get yeah. So 0 for 1, I guess the OSRL admins are tonight in calling Rex.
Kevin D'Elia has called it a night. The approach angle after he got clipped by Keone was pretty bad and just destroyed the right front corner of his Dodge.
Yeah, let's go on board
First
with Kevin
retirement
here.
of the night is due.
He really just had nowhere to go. Couldn't turn much lower with his normal aggressiveness into the corner. It's hard to turn down when you're already in the midst of braking. So that is certainly a call on Mo Perry. Maybe they're getting revenge on him, trying to set back his championship run after winning the Speedway 200. But that's certainly a call. We are doubled up.
Certainly is.
We're going to go back to green. 16 laps complete. We've had a couple of cautions. Hopefully these guys can string together a bit of a long run here. Nobody has pitted other than the race cars that have been involved in Rex and Adam Sweet, who might be playing some fuel strategy. I don't think that they will be able to make it from here, but if they keep on wrecking and then they get a long green run, who knows? Green flag is back out.
What a reset from Joe.
He has really gotten these down, and that one was miraculous. He's 3.5 tenths clear of Josh Shit. Hawking going to try to work over the 26 once more. And back here in the dogleg. Hawking will clear for third. Brindell going to take a look underneath Dunkelberger now. And Stuckwish trying to crack his way into the top 10. This is for 11th with Spencer Ray, 2 wide behind him as well, between Isaac Johnson and I believe that is Mikulishik, excuse me.
Davis last winner stuck in that group. He's kind of been forced to just wait for the race to come to him a little bit. He hasn't really been able to make a whole lot of progress in his Subaru WRX at the moment. Gets in line in front of the Polaricus machine. But he's just in the Hornet's Nest at the moment. So is Newbiggy.
And Treff.
Whoa! Newbiggy got really close to Nemitz there, middle of turn 3. They're able to separate a little bit. Newbiggy thinking about 3 wide with Nolan Sanford. Thinks better of it at the moment.
But Treff Davis, he's actually down 9 spots from where he started this race. He was up in 7th, now in 16th. Our biggest mover so far. I was suspecting, guys. Well, hold on to that for a second. Doug goes 3. Nemitz into the wall.
Schmidt's going to shoot the middle between the 14 and 71. Clips Nemitz as he comes down off of the wall. 2 down for Nemitz on the lap. Schmidt got the bit between his teeth at the moment with the opening. Going middle 3 wide in turn 4.
An impressive move from Schmidt for sure. Getting back to biggest mover, Paul Mikulishik, up 10 spots from his starting position. Just lost one to Nate Stewart, who is climbing his way up the leaderboard, but Paul doing a great job. And actually, Gary Waterworth, biggest leader or biggest mover as of now, with 12 spots gained from his last place starting position. Working over Tyler J. Williams right now. You see Gavin Newton getting a little loose back there. These drivers are definitely going to start to feel that in these coming laps.
Yeah, it's going to get progressively worse and worse as the right side tires get warmer throughout the run. Waterworth doing the NASCAR Thunder last first challenge, third way home on that front. Armstrong leads Chin by a quarter of a second. Second, Brandon Hawkin, they have a little bit of separation.
Oh, trouble in the back.
Trouble in the back.
That's Tyler J.
Williams, and they're going to throw the
Keeps
caution.
going.
They throw the caution for a one-car spin.
Might have, to be fair, it was in front of a lot of cars.
That was right in
That's what
front of
Perry
Gary.
wants to see.
He was in P23, and that's what we saw a lot throughout practice. Just a little too sharp on the throttle coming out of 2. The car just either loops pretty cleanly like that, or it goes straight into the inside barrier, and luckily for Williams, it's just a clean 360, and he's able to keep going.
So we've pretty much evenly split up these. We've gotten 8 laps per caution for the most part here so far. But interesting, we might have some pit stops here. It might be a little bit closer to that fuel range that these guys are looking for, and a little bit longer into the run for them to consider it. Joe is going to duck underneath, and he will lead him down. Some guys are going to stay out, though. Grindell, Freilich, I believe that's Stephen Gibson, who is staying out as well. Spencer Ray staying on the racetrack. Nate Stewart.
Davis stayed out as well.
Good amount of drivers staying out here. Let's see if any of these guys try to go for 2 tires or something of that nature.
The number of those stayed out is 7 at the moment. Going back to Wesley Person, who hit 14 laps ago.
Adam Sweet, he's coming in. He's just so far back, and
He's just Joe vibing, man.
He's just hanging, but he's so far back, and he's also so far in the front. Joe is the winner off of the pits. And no funny, well, actually a little bit of funny business. Ethan Stuckwish took 2.
Harry Grindell also stayed out.
So we have
Along with Cole Freilich, Stephen Gibson, Spencer Ray, Nate Stewart, Griffin Davis.
And Wesley Pearson.
and important to note for Wesley Pearson that he is the only one who stayed out who was actually pit so far. Now Triffin Davis, in fact, taking to the pits. So
Who's Triffin Davis?
Triff Davis. You just said Triffin Davis.
We talked about it after his victory
Run
last
it back.
week in
You said
California.
Triffin Davis.
Nope.
You said Triffin Davis when you were revealing who stayed out.
I mean, he said both. He said both is fine, but he likes Triff.
But I guess he just has decided that he didn't like that strategy. But as I was saying, Wesley Pearson, the only person to pit at any time out of the guys that stayed out. He is on 12 laps of something. He only was in the box for 4.7 seconds, so he might have some extra gasoline, and that's about all. So
Did you know that?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No.
No, we're a fifth of. I was just gonna say we're a sixth of the way through the race, and I mean that you can see that if you look here. So yeah, go ahead.
Harry Grindell's going to choose the top for this restart.
Shout out to Epic Pen's feature where you have a timer now. So this is a fading ink timer. So I'm just gonna here. I want to circle. I want to circle. Look out, guys.
Look out!
Look out for this car on this restart. Spencer Ray, check him out. And I don't even have to.
Whoa.
I don't even have to press anything,
That's
dude.
wild.
It just circles it, and it disappears. What a cool
Science
application.
is incredible.
But it's going to be an interesting restart here. Cautions have bred cautions. I'm not sure if the strategy situation will help that at this point, but we will go again. It'll be interesting to see if anybody else but Joe has that restart possibility if it's Joe taking advantage of some practice in the lead as we go to the wrong camera. The green flag is out. Oh, and Steven Gibson is blinking out on the bottom of the track. I think he's just going to drop all the way to the back as a result of that. A tough break for him. Cars nearly have to dodge him on corner entry there, but a very unfortunate break for the unsponsored 21 car. They yell out to a massive. It looks like that restart advantage is going to be for everybody in P1.
Oh, trouble!
The 26
Oh,
got
trouble!
turned! Oh!
In front of the field!
Look out! Couple of cars spun and tagged along, but for the most part, that was pretty severely avoided. Whoa, Tristan Baker just spun out Gibson, I believe it was.
It was.
It was Gibson, yes.
Goes from bad to worse for the 21 car because he missed he honestly was very fortunate there. That was right where he would have been, and gets an unfortunate break at the very last second, and now he's blinking severely. What happened? It all started with Ryan Dunkelberger. He got turned in some capacity. Oh, it was AJ Green.
AJ Green.
So it all it all comes down. It all starts if you see at you watch the 7 of Wesley Pearson here.
Racing deal.
It also follows kind of Joshua Chin and Brandon Hawken a little bit as well. It kind of
Just comes down the track
to the 26.
And then, I would call that a racing deal. I think that's fair. They just kind of came together. And a good job by most of the field. Nowhere for Pervalericus to go. He just had to minimize the damage. He did a good job of braking, honestly.
Yeah, he was kind of stuck in the
Nowhere to
middle,
go.
and a smoke screen just enveloped him. So then there was Gavin Newton and Tyler Williams kind of spinning. It was Newton who got into Baker.
Really, the only severe issue here was Tristan Baker's doing that to poor Steven Gibson. Like everything else was kind of just tight racing, and things happen, and Tristan gives Steven a little boop here at the very end. Which I'm sure that the 21, although he'll be just fine, won't be too happy with. Boop. That could have been worse. Could have been a lot worse. So, another caution. I believe that is our 4th in 30 laps. So it could be worse. Also, it could be a lot better for these Austral drivers. But this is our first short track of the year, so everybody's a little bit, I guess, unfamiliar with or a little bit rusty on the short tracks and racing each other so tightly. Not doubled up quite yet. I believe we will cross over next time by, but these guys want to get back racing already, as you can see. Oh, the meme team is not happy with each other. The Lions have scored 27 first half points.
Sure did. Are we all ready for the Sunday Toy Story game?
What's that?
You haven't heard about the Toy Story game?
Is there a game being broadcast in Toy Story Forum?
Yeah, the players are literally Toy Story characters.
Is that like a Disney Plus thing, or ESPN Plus?
I think it's I don't know what it's on.
I thought I saw it.
It's the London game, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that makes sense then. Okay, that probably might be on ESPN Plus then, because they had ESPN Plus last year for some of the.
I'm surprised you haven't heard about
games. I think I heard about it, but I just thought I saw something for a fully animated game. I'm not sure if that.
Yeah, that's the Toy Story one.
Okay. I didn't realize it was gonna be Toy Story characters. I just thought they were just animate motherfuckers, animate football players. But that's kind of cool. Make Woody make a one-handed Odell catch.
Well, I'm not sure if it's gonna be canon Toy Story characters, but they're gonna be some sort of animated toy characters, and they're gonna be playing in Andy's bedroom.
Holy shit! That's something. We tuned in 9:30 sharp. Let's try this again. Great jump for Brindell. Honestly, not as much as leaders. Previously, Joe made a bold move under Spencer. Backed out of it last second. Now he's 3 wide with Hawken.
Oh, Cole Frelick.
Second place gets turned in front of everybody.
Oh,
Nate Stewart
my
is
God.
upside down into the heart. Out inside.
What a
wall
fucking
went
wreck.
one.
Joe Armstrong is very hurt.
I think it was Joe who hit that inside wall extremely hard. He might have blown his motor straight out of
Yeah,
that.
Joe is done. Nate Stewart is done.
Nate Stewart upside down, as you can see. Tyler D. Hudson will be banning Joe for the pace car driving through him there.
Oh,
What?
Joe with an awful hit.
That was my reaction. I stumbled on my words. That's how hard of a hit it was. So it's Nate, and Nate just runs him over on exit. Not really. Man, that was a vicious impact for a couple of drivers. Nate's trying to steer off of it, comes up into Wesley Pearson, and that.
Oh my God.
That is a hard lick for 3 drivers.
Holy moly!
Hawken with a ton of damage as well, and I don't think that was the worst of it. I think Joe. Oh my God!
Oh my god! I go away to drive my car from the back carport to the front of the house, and Joe misses the tire barrier that's on the inside. Just hits.
Look at this angle.
That concrete barrier. That's bad, dude.
Oh no, he hits it at the
that's
exact
not good.
worst
He hits it
spot.
He's hitting it at the
He hits
elbow.
it at the R and the I.
Oh!
Look at that.
He hits it at oh my God. I mean, if Joe can walk after that, that's a miracle. And the vertigo after the fact.
They are calling the wreck on Nate Stewart, and Nate Stewart is arguing.
I don't know if I could argue with that if I'm Nate Stewart. I mean, he kind of just ran him the fuck over.
Let's see. Can I get it? Here's my opinion.
Yeah. Cole came up in front of him, but bam.
Damn.
Vicious hit.
We have we're actually gonna let's pull him up. Let's go to John Armstrong.
Joe, are you able to walk? What is your current? What are you? Are you okay?
I'm fine. My car's not. I knew that we were going to be in a bad spot there when I saw those guys stay out, and yeah, just lap 30 and we can't be patient and jacking guys up off of turn 2 and wreck the whole field. So
You were trying to be pretty. You were trying to be. Sorry to cut you off, but you were trying to be pretty aggressive there to get back up to the lead. It seemed like.
yeah, I was trying to be like passively aggressive because I didn't want to put anybody else in a bad spot. And you know, like I said, it's early, and so I didn't want to be stupid because I knew I was the fastest guy in the field. And yeah, unfortunately, here I am on pit road with a bunch of damage, probably at least 40 minutes of damage.
I say, did the motor blow from that?
Yeah,
That's a
it's
shame.
done. It's done.
Well,
We'll go get him. I don't know what's next week, but I guess I'll get him then.
Next week is Montreal.
oh, reigning winner there.
I know. Yeah, it'll be tough to beat Hawken again, but
A better way to bounce back, but that's tough. Thanks for talking to us, Joe, and yeah, best of luck next week.
thank you.
Bill brought it up.
Joe M. Armstrong.
Good to hear. There, I mean, that was a scary accident, and just goes to show you what Jonathan
was
Oates,
upside
Robert.
down for that.
That was Nate Stewart who was upside down. He is back in the pits as well. But I mean, just a big thank you as always, Jonathan Oates, CJ Nemes, Robert Dorman, Jack Painter, everybody that puts on this league, just continuing to improve the safety of these race cars every season. And, I don't know if Joe Armstrong would have walked away from that in Oshel season 1, as the green flag is back out. It's just another
trouble in the back of the
start.
field.
They wrecked
Caution's
again.
out.
Big wreck. This is the biggest one
Mo
so
Perry
far.
involved.
Again. Gosselin,
Ryan
Denver
Dunkelberger.
Ray, Dunkelberger, Wesley Pearson, Mo Perry's facing the wrong way.
So I think this started
Oh.
all the way up
We're
at the
looking
front
at
of
Jack
the field.
around Jack Lauer, Gary Waterworth.
So this
Call him
starts with.
Felicia
So yeah, this starts. We're gonna do it
They're gonna
again.
call this one a Mo Perry.
We're
Doing it.
no,
We're doing it again.
no,
We did this at Daytona.
we're gonna do it
and I think
again.
it was at Fontana. We're doing it again.
Okay. So who goes first? Gary went first. Gary went when they weren't going. It's Gary Waterworth's fault. Look at that. Look at that acceleration.
And then Caden Rife in the BMW
It actually-
really closed the gap as well.
Caden
then
Rife,
Nolan
secondary
Sanford.
fault. And then Nolan Sanford, he's not doing anything wrong because he's back. He's the third car
Yeah.
in line. He's just following orders. And then he stacks up the 63. The 63 stacks up the 59, who stacks up the 10.
The 59 backed off as well a little bit, which caused the
And-
10 to back off, which caused the 48 to back off.
And not that 48, that 48.
That 48.
And that caused...
That is being deemed a racing deal by race control.
And this also happens
On the inside.
on the
with
inside a little bit,
Pandicio.
but Pandicio slightly at fault there because he's just stopping for nothing. He's kind of just he's just stopping for no reason. And then Mo Perry
Gets run over by Chris Privilericus.
as does Josh Goslin by Triff Davis, who is going because the green flag is out at this point. As does everybody behind him. Hawken narrowly avoids, as does Spencer Ray and Nathan Kiani. Harrison got a little bit of damage. Let's go on board with that 199 here.
Good lord.
Just barely keeping himself in this thing. He's in 23rd right now, so even after that damage, let's try to get a look at it here on the left side. Oh, he is hurting for sure. And listen to that car. He's clutching. Everybody, not everybody actually, but some people pit there, including Pearson. Pretty much everybody that was involved in that incident. But these guys are on the good side of the fuel strategy, as you see Hawken there, clutching, coasting. Gosselin not, but we have smoke. Oh no. We gotta take a look. I think somebody might have had an incident.
Might have had an
Oh, Mo Perry.
Mo.
Oh,
Perry. No,
dear.
Mo.
Oh dear.
What happened?
Oh,
He
let's
might
take a
have
look.
overcooked it, trying to hit maybe.
Yeah.
I don't think. I think he just got.
Listen, the
loose,
racing
but it was a
machine
good
is
save.
fine. I've done that before.
Mhm.
We've
Yeah,
all
you,
been
you,
there.
You kind of just chase the car and then you
Let me tell you.
grab it. You grab it.
At this
At least you
point,
didn't break the
though,
wall like that one truck.
at this point, though, I would just be like, this is like, he is saving this car out of pure will. He's like,
Mhm.
this cannot fucking happen to me. Not even the fact that it's like this, not even the fact that it's a broadcasted race or anything, or a league race or anything that he cares about. It's just like, I cannot fucking do this. And he didn't do it. He saved it. He did a great job.
Like in Dungeons and Dragons, he needed to roll like a 19 or higher to make the will save, and he rolled a 20. So
Let's try again.
anyways,
I think
let's
that was
try
our
again.
6th in 42 laps.
Getting
we're,
up there.
We're chopping the average down. We're down to 7 laps. We were at 8 per caution, so now we're down to 7 laps per caution.
Harry Grindell still the control car. Roger Chin left. Top 5. Gary Waterworth, CJ Nemitz, William Schmidt, Caden Rife, Douglas Newbegin, your top 10.
Valendo, valendo, valendo.
Good jump from Grindell again. Let's see if they can make it through a couple of corners here. AJ Green making the charge for 3rd. There's Gary Waterworth all the way up from 36th. He's taking advantage of some fuel strategy to get himself in a 6th spot. He's side by side with Nemitz now.
So far, so good through the back half of the Speedway. Nemitz looking for another top 10 performance after finishing 7th or 8th at Fontana this time last week. Grindell got about a quarter of a second from Chin. Chin got 6/10 to this battle for 3rd.
That's AJ Green and Isaac Johnson. A great run developing for the 33 car, who qualified quite well up in the. Or actually, I lie. Jack Painter's in the wall. I was looking at AJ Green's starting stats. Isaac Johnson, he's been a solid mover in this race, up from 20th, and has played the strategy right 3 wide there, and Doug Newbegin almost the big loser.
The
Only
tires
5 laps
starting
down.
to fall away from the Renault of Grindel, now chin to the back of him on the back straightaway. The fresher tires finally starting to work for the 093 machine, who was at the front for most of this race as it turned out. Looking a little deeper in the field, Adam Sweet starting to make his move as well in the other Starfield machine.
2 by 2, several rows deep here. Everybody jostling for position. That's what these cars that are a little bit differing strategies, I guess I should say, and just different damage and everything. But Gary Grindel is your race leader right now with the oldest tires in the field. Joshua Chin, though, trying to change that awful quickly. 21 laps on his tires. It's a 25-lap difference, and Joshua is on the prowl, as is Gary Waterworth. Up into the top 5 from last place, starting position 36th. And how about that? 47 laps. I mean, that's pretty impressive. He's had a lot of assistance, but he's played his cards absolutely perfectly to get himself into a great spot right now.
And I mean, this is probably like the soonest we've seen the Thunder Challenge last to first have a real shot at being successful. Jack Painter and William Schmidt coming to blows on the front straightaway. Schmidt's going to take the position. He's been knocking on the door of a really good result in OSRL for a hot minute. Goes up to 6, gets a little loose off the 2, but still chugging. Now he's got double moving, taking spot from Painter behind him.
And the gap has widened a little bit at the front of the field. A couple of side-by-side battles throughout the top 15. We go back to Gibson here with Greg Kalhoff making his debut, and Greg in a nice spot so far. Another unsponsored machine running in 14th, trying to get that 13th spot from Steven.
The main difference between the two unsponsored machines, Toyota on the inside color, yellow side skirt rear spoiler compared to the Chevrolet. That is
This is pretty much the only
those at home
way to discern them. And the yellow, it's like a highlighter yellow.
They got the same yellow and black number as well. It's just one's a Toyota, one's a Chevrolet, one's different side skirts. So looking at the battle for third, AJ Green has taken the upper hand for now. They got about 1 1/4 seconds ahead to Joshua Chin and Grindel. Grindel doing an amazing job on the old
trouble
in the field. Trouble.
Tyler J. Williams for the
Tyler
third time.
Oh!
Another flip.
2 cars upside down in 50 laps. I think we might have even had another car go upside down, or very close. Nate Stewart piled in at the last second. Drift Davis there as well. What happened?
Tyler Williams lost it in the dog leg.
It was only a matter of time.
Tyler
I
hit the
guess.
wall,
Oh my!
and then he comes down, brings the wheel down a little too much, and then gets hit by
Nate Stewart.
Dunkelberger. Oh my God, Nate
Let's look
Stewart.
at what the 24.
I want to see what Nate Stewart saw. Okay, he didn't see shit. That's fair.
He did not see shit.
So he.
I want to get an onboard with Marty Farrell.
So he can see.
Nothing.
He can see that there, but like
He sees something happening, but not where it's going per se.
I don't blame him for not focusing. He's probably focusing on Spencer Ray right now, and then
Spencer Ray hooks it to the left, opens the door to see Tristan Baker move heavy on the binders.
oh my
And that's basically
God,
the same
Tristan
thing that
Baker
Marty Farrell
got
saw.
insane air.
He got punted
Look
for
at that.
distance. Punted for distance.
I mean, he's a good 5-6 feet in the air there. Comes down on all fours.
I mean that reminds me of like the last bottom split Phoenix that ever got broadcasted. That car that got launched off the wall.
I do
On the
remember
inside.
that.
If I'm Tristan Baker, I'm not happy at all. Because he got taken out by a car that's 4 laps down.
I don't blame him, but I want to look at Tristan's cockpit here.
I mean, he
Is
did
he
everything
missing
right.
this?
He
I
just
think
needs
he
to
might.
get off. He might have. There was a window that was opening.
And this is vicious. This would be vicious. Oh man. I want to go on board just to make it from the roll bar. Oh,
Man.
God.
And then Williams slid for a good, like, 50 yards as well on his lid.
Like halfway through the corner.
Yeah.
And that is the second, I guess you could call Tyler J. Williams a member of Apex meme team, that conglomerate. Not a great first 50 laps for that group of drivers. And Ethan Quarter in the chat making a good case for this has been from a wrecking standpoint the worst in a while. That is for sure.
And you know what? That happens. Not every race is gonna go caution free start to finish. Sometimes, you know, this just kind of happens. You know, it's a perfect storm either way. At the same time, though, we did have
Go
the
ahead.
majority of the field for service that time around, except for Gary Waterworth and Drake Cowhawk, who both stayed out. They are on 30 laps on their stint when they come back around for the restart. AJ Green, Harry Grindell were the top two from the race off pit road. Joshua Chin lost 2 positions. He will be starting on the 3rd row. But we're almost at halfway. You know what I mean? We are getting there, Matt Spalding, Ben Miller.
Slowly.
It will be Gary Waterworth, the patrol car on the outside. AJ Green keeping very close proximity to that black and white Dodge being driven by Waterworth. Here we go.
30 laps on the tires for the front row. Everybody else is on new tires. Go off sideways. Shin out of shape behind them. Not sure if that was a tire spinner, if Greg got some assistance from behind from a better restarting car. AJ Green going to shoot up into P2 with Bruce Schmidt right behind him. Where did that car come from?
Oh, man.
It was Grindell who was right behind Kalhoff. We'll need to potentially take a look if we get a pause in the action, but the difference in tires not working out for Waterworth the way it did for Grindell. Green, Schmidt, and now comes Grindell going for 3rd on Schmidt on the inside of turn 1.
And just with the amount of big names involved in this and the wreck so far and the championship contending drivers and former race winners, we might have the chance for a surprise here at Phoenix tonight in OSRL. Maybe a first-time winner or a guy that hasn't gone to victory lane in quite a while, like Speedway 200 Season 4 winner Gary Waterworth. He'll lead that time at the line, but how long are these tires going to hold up against AJ Green, William Schmidt, and others?
Joshua Chin's on the inside of Aiden Walker as well. They are battling for the last 3 wide deeper in the field, kind of around early to mid 20s as well. AJ Green has the preferred line through 3 and 4. Schmidt might have given Waterworth a little bit of a nudge, get him a little bit of motivation, get through the corner. Waterworth's going to hold on to 2nd for now, but they are 2 by 2 behind him.
Douglas Newbegin as well in the 71 was big time sideways off of turn 4, lost several positions as a result of that. He'll stay in the top 10. Waterworth trying to hold off this snarling pack for second space. Space. I mean, it is a space.
Starfield cars.
Wow, look at William Schmidt. He just drove that thing around the outside. So much grip on those tires compared to the 12 of Waterworth, and he will take P2 away. That might be the secret sauce as Aiden Walker, all the way from the 32nd starting position, jumps around the outside as well. He'll take away the 3rd spot. 3 wide, staggered through the dogleg for 3rd.
You see Waterworth just struggle middle of turn 1 to try and get the momentum back in that Dodge. That's why he was losing the position to Aiden Walker in the 93. Now it's going to be Grindell, who looked very potent on the initial laps of the restart. Drops back to 5th. It's going to be into 4th into turn 1. He gets a little sketchy on the entry into 1, gives Waterworth a bit of an opportunity to fight back, but the group behind is starting to file into formation to try and get past the struggling Gary Waterworth.
Get an update on Kalhoff. He's all the way back in 18th spot, so Waterworth doing a great job in comparison. Shin trying to get back into the top 5 now. He was one of the biggest casualties of Kalhoff having that issue on the restart. Lost a ton of spots. He's up to P5 again. Newbegin going to be the next one to take on the 12 car as we have a battle for the lead on our hands. William Schmidt going to the outside of AJ Green.
AJ Green got out to about 0.4 of a second of a lead after he was able to clear Wadsworth, but Schmidt, after clearing Gary the Snail, cut that immediately in the span of 2 laps and gets the lead even before they get to turn 1. Now it's Aiden Walker's turn to go after the 48.
William Schmidt and Aiden Walker both started very deep in this field. Remember, as I said, Aiden Walker waited until the last second to put up a lap. So these guys didn't have the best pace in qualifying, but more so, I think just trying to make sure they got into this race, didn't spin out or do something that compromised them further, as we have reached halfway and the front 4 are on top of each other. Joshua Chin trying to get there as well. Closest battle for position. 8th and 9th, Jack Painter going underneath Gary Waterworth.
Right in the wall, gets out of it in the dog leg in his BMW, still on outside. Ethan Stuckwish cracking the top 10, I believe, or about to, rather.
And Ethan Stuckwish, correct me if I'm wrong, he's been around for a decent amount of time, but you see the rookie stripes there. This is his first full-time season. I'm not sure if he made any starts prior to this year, but a name that some may be familiar with and that probably has some friends in this series. And put together a pretty good showing so far. Up in 13th.
It looks like a BMW from the front, but it's actually a Pontiac. My apologies.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, they looked kind of the same by Pontiac's demise in terms of like the kidney throws and that kind of stuff. Anyways, Joshua Chin trying to bridge the gap to the battle for second between AJ Green and Aiden Walker. Douglas Newby has Gray going to be passing Harry Grindell for attempting to 3, 3, and 4.
Tight between the 70 and the 71. Excuse me, as Nate Stewart asks for the league to ban the driver of the 4 car.
Trouble, turn 1.
Gary Waterworth, is that?
It's Gary Waterworth.
He got
no
set
yellow.
way
That
high.
car was also way up the hill as well.
Oh,
Leslie Pearson
man.
was getting loose as he cut away.
Even
We'll
Stuckwish just ran him over.
Let's watch that full sequence. Jack got sent to the inside, then Ethan Stuckwish, and bizarre set of circumstances there. Lauer pretty much rode the wall around. Leslie Pearson got
Maybe
very
Ethan
loose right next
assumed.
to him.
Maybe Ethan assumed that Gary blocked him on the inside, and he was like, "I'm not taking that shit," so he sent him.
That might be true. That's the second time that we turned away from Gary, and then something has happened. As things stand, they've calmed down, and I'm not really going to complain about single file racing after what we've seen in the first half of this race. We'll go back all the way to 16th for Ryan Pandicio and Nolan Sanford. Pandicio, a rookie? Not sure if he's. Well, he doesn't have it on his stripes, but his first starts were last season, so I'm not sure if he's officially designated as a rookie, but
He also
an
joined
Austral newcomer.
through.
Yeah, an Austral newcomer, Nolan Sanford, an Austral veteran. That was the point I was trying to get across. And then another relative veteran of OSRL. We've seen him since about Season 3, Season 4, Jack Lauer. And the Wawa machine. He's often got a new and inspired creative
Wawa
car to
Porsche.
run. You see him in the Olive Garden machine, but switch that out for a fine Pennsylvania area gas station, convenience store, whatever. What would you call Wawa?
An experience.
That's true. Wawa is a lovely experience that everybody
same
should
Same for
experience.
Sheets. Same for what's called Rudders. That's another one. I think that's the southeastern people.
I don't think I've ever heard of Rudders. But, you know,
There's a bunch of them. Think of like the fast food wars from like Demolition Man, except it's like fast food at like a gas station.
front 4 make it pretty much front or second through fourth
Back to
under a
Painter.
blanket here, and now Gibson going underneath Harry Grindell. That will be for 6th position.
Ooh. Non-contact knee injury for a
Oh,
Lions linebacker or cornerback. I don't know.
Brian Branch, I believe. That's a
Brian
first round
Branch.
those are
pick.
the worst.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Non-contact knee.
It's a non-contact knee in football or a knee on knee in hockey.
Grindel and Gibson still going at it. Grindel will get past just there, and now will face pressure from our pole sitter, Adam Sweet. Outside pole sitter, excuse me. It was the retired Joe Armstrong who had the pole position. And Adam trying to make his way up through the field after starting in the pits. Grindel very loose on exit. He's going to maybe lose another spot here to Painter, who subsides as Grindel chucked it into the corner. The battle now developing for the fourth spot between Shin and Newbegin.
Painter might be playing the long game in terms of his tires throughout this lead group of about 9 or so. Schmidt has about 0.4 of a second from this group. AJ Green, Aiden Walker, Joshua Chin, Douglas Newbegin. There goes Painter around the inside of Grindel as Grindel gets loose off of turn 4. Got a little bit of room to catch up to Adam Sweeters just on the back end of this group. AJ Green a little higher off of turn 2, trying to get a little bit of a better drive off in his 48 machine. It's giving him a little bit of breathing space as we see Joshua Chin try to get to the inside of the 93 in his 093 machine. Just not able to make it work at the moment. Trying to plug away, gain inches where he can, and he's going to go for the dive on the inside of turn 1.
93 versus 93 through 1 and 2. It's very interesting from this blimp cam up here. You can get a great perspective of when everybody's braking in comparison to each other. You see Aiden Walker throws it in there in comparison to Joshua Chin, and Newbegin even a little bit more aggressive than Shin, but you can see how aggressive Aiden Walker is being on the entry to the quarter compared to the other 93. Same with AJ Green, who is rather aggressive, and Newbegin.
Yeah,
So-
it's not just like where they are braking, it's how sharp they are on that initial input. That also does a lot for your initial rotation into the corner. But so far, AJ Green is doing a very good job kind of maintaining a pretty solid tempo with this group behind. It looks like William Schmidt might have had a little bit of a scrappy lap per se. He's still able to maintain the gap at about 4 points. And there's going to be a lap car ahead as well.
Let's see who that lap car is. I believe it'll
Looks like
be
it's Tristan Baker.
Yes. A couple of lap cars will come into the fray here. Marty Farrell has some damage. Mo Perry damaged as well. So things are starting to happen as Aiden Walker. You see him went
way up
wide open there.
Chin trying to get that very high line to work, which it has. He's going to clear the 93, and Douglas Newbegin also taking the opportunity to get past the 93 of Aiden Walker as well. Walker might have just missed the corner into 3, which opened the door for the 093 and the 71.
Yeah, Walker. I think the aggressive entry might have come back and bit him. Adam Sweet and Gibson, that has allowed them to kind of reconcile with this group that is trying to track down William Schmidt for the lead. AJ Green has held almost dead even over the last 10 or so laps, pretty much since we went green flag racing.
Like he gains like a little bit here and there on Schmidt, but nothing really substantial. He's pretty comfortable with his 48 machine. Chin behind him now has a little bit of separation to Aiden Walker. He's kind of holding up Newbegin, Sweet, and Gibson here a little bit here. You have to feel like he's allowing both Jack Painter and Brandon Hawken, who's now in 9th, to try and get back into the fray a little bit.
Adam Sweet, before that lap, when he was making a move on the 21 of Stephen Gibson, and he successfully has made that move up in a 6th. He was the fastest car on the racetrack. Not the fastest, but they're one of the fastest, and honestly, if we're going to look at the timing sheets right now, the fastest car on the racetrack, look back to P9 and a guy who I haven't mentioned and didn't really expect to mention this early, Brandon Hawken, and he is making his way up to this lead group, surprisingly enough.
How much damage do we still have on his left side of this Nexus machine?
Pretty damaged, but it looks like
bit.
it looks repaired compared to the last time we saw it.
Probably still has a fresh, like a relatively fresh engine underneath of his Chevrolet as well. Maybe the little bit of aero damage for him has to change his driving style a little bit. And that will potentially help the looseness we are seeing off of the corner, which we just saw with Joshua Chin trying to launch an attack on AJ Green as Newbegin goes for it on the inside of Aiden Walker.
Tristan Baker wasn't the most friendly lap car, didn't impede whatsoever, but didn't stop and get out of the way like some guys might, or some leaders might want others to. We'll see what Marty Farrell does as well. Got 40 laps left. I'm not sure. I think these guys will be good on fuel. I think that's why the majority of them pit on that final, that most recent pit stop.
Lap 52, so that's about 70 laps or so on the run. They should be good, but the tires at the very end of this run, they are going to decide who's going to be winning this race. Schmidt might be struggling just that little bit. It's allowed AJ Green to close the gap, but he's currently under threat. Joshua Chin for second.
I want to keep on looking back at Brendan Hawken for a moment there. He was the only car in the 28s. Now back into the 29 ones, but he's still the fastest car on the racetrack by about 0.08 of a second compared to the car in front of him. Actually, not even. Aiden Walker, who's in 4th place, and then the car in front of him, Jack Payne. But
this whole lead group has kind of compressed. It was about 3 seconds, 1st to 9th, about 5 or 10 laps ago. It's now within a second and a half to Brandon Hawken with CJ Nemitz at that 3 second behind the leader threshold. Joshua Chin looking to the inside of William Schmidt into turn 1. Has a little bit on the left rear corner of that 79 machine. Doesn't get a good drive off though. Schmidt using all of the wheels to get this one off. They have more lap traffic to deal with though. Now Chin, a much better look in the turn 3, has to back out middle of the corner to try and get a good run off onto the front straight.
And this entire group is just condensing even further. Now Brandon Hawken within 1.3 seconds of the leader, which is now Joshua Chin. But William Schmidt says, not so fast. I'm going to try to take the crossover move right underneath you through the dogleg that goes side by side. AJ Green is loving this, getting him right back into this battle. Aiden Walker there as well, and he's putting up some good laps. Guys at the back of this group, Jack Painter, Brandon Hawken, they are the fastest right now, but as they catch up and are now even, who is going to be fastest? William Schmidt under pressure now, almost looking to lose 2 spots in 2 laps, slides up the track, gives up the spot to AJ Green.
Everyone was able to clear Marty Farrell pretty painlessly in his 24 machine. AJ Green back in 2nd place. Schmidt fighting for his life on the inside with Newbegin now trying to get around the outside of him through turn 4. They're side by side. 4P4 at the moment. Newbegin has the spot across the line. It's still going to be Schmidt trying to recover and get some consistency back, as now he's under threat from Adam Sweet.
Schmidt seems to not be loving the dirty air whatsoever, and he might have also burnt up his tires. He's just trying to get something, as you said, back underneath him here, whether it be some tire grip, some rhythm, whatever.
Some temperature or lack thereof, per se.
Yeah, and this group is widened out a bit now as a result of the midfield, as the battle's in the middle of it. Back to 1.9 seconds from Josh Chin to Jack Painter. Brandon Hawken, still one of the faster cars on the racetrack and making up ground to go for P7. Doesn't have enough time to have a say in this race.
Doesn't have enough time. This is the Brandon Hawken that we know. Very decisive in his overtakes. It just still has another 5 cars to get to Joshua Chin, who's built up 0.4 of a second gap. 48.
And you see back there, Painter going underneath Gibson as well. AJ Green back in that following mode of kind of just having to piece together consistent laps, and he did it last time. Just 4/1000 slower than the leader. This time they come around, and we'll see the times as they tick off. Adam Sweet gonna look underneath Newbegin for P4. And AJ Green a little bit slower that time. Josh Chin put up a 2.96, one of the only laps in the 2s in the entire field. The other guy, Adam Sweet, P5 looking for P4.
And Adam Sweet was another 700 faster than Joshua Chin last time around, as he was navigating past the 71 of Douglas Newbegin, able to fully clear him this time around. Brandon Hawken also getting past William Schmidt. He might have the worst tires out of everyone in this league. But Adam Sweet, we talked about it a little bit earlier. He knows he has short run pace. We know he has pace in qualifying. We never really know what he has on the long run. He might have some of the best tires as we get to the closing stages of this race.
Him and Hawken have put themselves in a great positions. It was Hawken with the second fastest lap that time, but don't leave out Aiden Walker either. He is putting up solid laps. He has been consistent for this entire run in E3. Joshua Chin was the fastest that last time, and I think the Clean Air benefiting him big time as AJ Green might have some tire issues as well.
That might have been the opening for Aiden Walker. He gets blocked in pretty badly by AJ Green, who runs up the hill through 3 and 4, able to cut down very late, but looks like Walker got a great run through turn 4. We see AJ Green weaving back and forth a little bit to try and force him to back off a little bit, which he does in the turn 1. Aiden Walker gets a little bit tighter through the turn, but not able to try and get some crossover in the turn 3. AJ Green playing some hardball on defense, but it is working. But it's meant that the gap to Joshua Chin has doubled up. It's now a second.
Interesting to see how he's playing this year. The gap has definitely decreased. I think he's just trying to hold on to this position as hard as he can, as Adam Sweet with a about as optimal as you could get there without being suboptimal. Pretty much kissed the wall perfectly. Got a run underneath Aiden Walker. Didn't make it stick. There's smoke on the backstretch. A car in the grass. I believe that might be Harry Grindell. No.
It's Mo Perry.
Mo Perry. That's a target car.
He spun off turn 2.
Not the best race for the Speedway 200 winner, that is for sure. And he kind of got fucked. So I feel bad for him. Joshua Chin has opened up this lead to 1.2 seconds, 1.1. And some of these guys in this pack are running even times with Joshua Chin. It's just a matter of, can they get past AJ Green, Aiden Walker, others? Douglas Newbegin ran a 3.32 last lap. That was 4,000 off of Josh Chin. He's stuck back in traffic.
Yeah, we're talking a second and a half of fall off from everybody's fastest lap of the race so far. Very tight from AJ Green to Brandon Hawken. Hawken probably just minding his P's and Q's for a moment, waiting for an opportunity or someone to blink at the moment. Walker very skating through the dog leg, not able to really close the gap to the 48, even though he is going to take a little bit higher of a line through 3 and 4, trying to cut down.
Hawken gonna pit.
Hawken's coming to pit for tires.
So we might see the people
Schmidt follows.
We might see a pit strategy come into play here. We might see people trying to stretch their tanks all the way till the end. It appears that we can't make it. Gary Waterworth spun on the inside. We're gonna stay green. Hopefully he's gonna mostly avoid the leaders. He does.
It is a second and a half.
Let's see.
Newbegin in the wall.
Newbegin in the wall coming to turn 4. Everybody else, a lot of people are responding.
Aiden Walker, Adam Sweet. Jack Painter. So you almost have to respond.
You have to respond
pretty quickly if you're gonna be a guy who's not trying to make this stretch. We're gonna have to see is Josh Chin.
Ray, Gosselin, Johnson, Lauer also pitting. Will Joshua Chin respond? He's slowing.
There he comes.
Down. He's coming in this time. So is AJ Green. It looks like.
Douglas Newbegin stays. He'll cycle to the lead, but that was half of the field who responded within a lap or two of Brandon Hawken and William Schmidt coming down to pit. And we see that a lot in real life, and reflected here on the sim. You really need to, can't be, worry. You can't be out there on those old tires while the other guys are just running laps around you. The gain that you'll make on the other side isn't enough.
Triff Davis, Gavin Newton, all staying out.
Nemitz
so
will come
far.
in. Pandicio
Nemitz
will.
And Pandicio are in. To see what Brandon Hawken does this time around. 28.229. He is mired in lap traffic though at the moment. That's going to be a big thing for him as well. Can he get through all the cars and do it in an orderly fashion? So these are for position as well.
But the situation for Hawken has turned out perfectly because he's out in front as a result of this cycle of pit stops here. He's going to be...
a lap down. The leader is right in front of him.
Oh, I don't want...
Newbigging and Davis stayed out. As Hawken gets past Newbigging in the dog leg at the moment. And that is the gap. That is a lap. 28 seconds or so to find in about 23 laps.
And let's focus on Joshua Chin's lap here as he comes to the line. This is his first full lap, 27.925, and that was slower than Brandon Hawken, even though Hawken is on 2-lap older tires. Chin going to have to go fast here to unlap himself from Newbigging, and he does. Sanford as well in front of him, and Sanford not on the oldest tires in the world. This will be for position because the 52 came in 10 laps ago, and he is good until the end.
They'll also have to navigate around Ryan Dunkelberger, who's on 20-lap old tires as well. He is for position in P9. It's going to be the first obstacle for Jack Painter as well. Approaching 20 to go here. Time is running out. They're talking going to make up the gap. It's already down 3 cents since we last looked. 3 wide, Adam Sweet, 21. Trying to get around the lap car there.
And not even really.
Newbigging's forced to pit. He's all over. He's missed his pit in.
Hard and
Facing
the
the
inside
wall, the
wall,
leader's
and they're
in
going to
front
throw
of
it. The caution comes out, and you really can't blame him because Doug is in a very, very tough spot.
Really
here.
bad spot here.
Yeah.
He's trying to Austin Powers it to not really impede everybody coming through. He only loses the lead to Triff Davis, who was on the same strategy, but...
And you'd have to think that Doug will be receiving an EOL here, because otherwise he's going to be a massive winner.
He is at fault.
And not to imply anything. I don't think that he was trying to bring out the caution to keep his track position, but he cannot hold his track position after bringing out the caution.
It looks like he just was not able to really.
Biggest winner here was Triff Davis.
Here comes Triff for service.
Triff Davis, a huge winner here. He was the only car who stayed out and is not going to be having any damage. I mean, Doug hit the wall too as well, I believe.
Yeah, he hit kind of where it kind of curves back into the straightaway a little bit. We'll need to take a look at a replay here.
We will.
A couple other people pitting was Sanford and Dunkelberger, who was previously mentioned as being on an alternate strategy.
It's going to be interesting, though, because these guys are on 8-lap old tires. In the case of Hawkins, 6, 7 for Aiden Walker. So there will be a tire advantage there. I actually want to see where Triff Davis comes out. He's going to come out in 10th position, and if he is not forced to give up the... actually, never mind. All these guys, because all these guys are a lap down. So, yeah, this is going to be a big win for the guys who are on the alternate strategy or stayed out. That is Triff Davis, Nolan Sanford, Ryan Dunkelberger. Doug says 4 minutes he's killed. Oh, he says he got ran over. Yeah, we're going to have to look at the replay now.
The verdict is in.
Take a look at a replay there.
Racing deal.
So it's Steven Gibson behind.
Yeah, he was definitely committing to pit in. There was a definite difference in speed between the 71 and the 21.
And Steven, I mean, he's
kind of in a bad spot because he's got Jack Painter above him.
But he can if Doug communicated it, Steven needs to be higher there. So I would say that should be on Steven. But considering that he made an effort, I kind of understand it. Not the very unfortunate break for Doug, though, because he wanted a caution. He didn't want to be the caution. And they'll be able to stay in relatively decent shape here. He's gonna have a lot of damage, but he's gonna come out in front of all the wave around cars, so he'll be in about 13th or so. That's where he scored currently on pit road.
First wave round car will be Pergolaricus in the 49. It's Pergolaricus all the way down to the 10 cars will be taking the wave.
And we will delay the green in order to situate everybody and not make them haul ass back around. which is fair.
That's fair. We don't. Kyle pushing the restart at Phoenix is a strategy, and we're not seeing it.
Might be the most waiver rounds we've seen in an Austral race, honestly, at least in a long time. That is about 12 cars that are who will be getting one lap back on their resume. Doug Newbinging is actually going to be end up being scored in 25th here. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get around these guys or if that's just where he'll be. But
I think that's just where he'll be.
The cars that I'll make sure, yeah, they're not going. So the cars that are still a lap down out of that will be Gavin Newton, Greg Calhoff, Marty Farrell, and Tristan Baker. They will all be battling for the lucky dog. And honestly, a pretty decent, I mean, he's going to finish, unless he gets back on the lead lap, it won't be the greatest result. But respect to Tristan Baker for keeping his foot in it and sticking in this race after getting just ran the fuck over and just destroyed. And that car is not running too well. So kudos to him. Joe Armstrong is coming back out, baby. You fucking know it.
He's been out there for a bit.
They did that 40-minute engine swap, baby.
But you,
I saw him coming out like 20 minutes ago.
If you see, if you look at the, we're gonna take a look at the
timing.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna just circle it with our.
We gotta get to that third page. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're waiting. There, so there he is. He's gonna pass Tyler J. Williams for 31st position, and points matter. They matter. They matter.
This all, for all intents and purposes, is probably gonna be Joe's drop.
Oh, I'm an idiot. The green flag's out. But
Green
we didn't miss anything.
Out. It's probably gonna be Armstrong's drop round, but that one position could make or break come later on in the season. Hawking got a good start. Schmidt side by side with Walker for second. Hit the hornet's nest behind.
I'm so glad I had a Pinto on because I would miss so many things in this.
Verdi.
He's so helpful. Hawken really is clear. Walker is clear. Schmidt is clear. Chin trying to get for fourth. He's clear, and it'll be the first four. The first five now single file. Trying to chase down the 099. AJ Green have a steep quarter there. Excuse me. Side by side with Steven Gibson.
Sanford, Triff Davis, and Dunkelberger, those on the fresh tires. Sanford leading the way of that on the outside. Triff Davis right behind him, trying to get that top lane to work with all the lateral grip. He gets a bit of a moment coming off of turn 4, able to keep it off the wall, and Triff Davis able to keep it away from that Kodak Camaro. A little bit locked in right now for last week's winner at Fontana and running out of time. 14 laps to go. Hawkins got Walker, and they got all the real estate in front of them.
And a lot of these guys up here feel like they deserve a strong result. Think of Adam Sweet. He started second and he drove his way all through up the field. He doesn't really want to finish in 8th, I don't think. AJ Green has been in 2nd a lot of the time. I don't think he wants to finish in 7th. Jack Painter has seen the top 5 before. He's side by side and beating doors with AJ Green. There's guys up at the front who might not be satisfied either. Think about William Schmidt and Joshua Chin going for 3rd and 4th. They've been the 2 biggest leaders all day long, and they now find themselves a few tenths behind the battle for the lead with 12 laps to go. Make it 12, or is it going to take us 12? 3 wide.
AJ Green might have gotten out of shape off of turn 4, forced Adam Sweet to go 3 wide in the middle. Sweet popped it up in the middle of turn 1, trying to get out of a bad situation. That's allowed Triff Davis going on the inside of the 28, and of Nolan Sanford in the 52 rather. He's going to try and be the leader of those on the fresh tires. 12 now, 11 laps to go. Walker had a good chance to get to Hawken, but missed his opportunity. They still have broken away a little bit from Josh Chin here, but Triff Davis, Nolan Sanford running out of time.
Yeah, they might have played a good strategy, but just might not be enough of a difference in the tires and maybe not enough time for that to register. Is Adam Sweet going to bring it into the pits here? He is he is
done
fed up.
For the night. He's had enough.
He doesn't give a shit, and I respect that. Triff Davis and AJ Green are going out. I don't know why I said his name. I don't know if Davis, but
Triff Davis.
Triff Davis. Triff Davis.
Oh no.
Trip up in this Trip Davis up in the 7th. 10 laps to go. It'll be 9 as they cross the line, and the gap widening for Brandon Hawken.
Aiden Walker might have shot his best shot probably like 3 or 4 laps into the run. He was actually a little bit faster than Hawken for a couple of laps. Might have used the best of his tires. Now Josh is starting to bridge the gap a little bit to the other 93 in the field and is bringing Steve Gibson in.
Speaking of cars that are faster than Brandon Hawken, that was Joshua Chin last lap by about 0.5 of a second, but nonetheless, he is closing, and he's still within a second, so he's got a shot. 1/100th slower was Chin that time, so he's going to definitely need to pick up the pace here and find something in those tires and in that 93 machine to get around Aiden Walker and to get around Brandon Hawken. Here's Nolan Sanford going at it with AJ Green. And how about Ryan Dunkelberger? We've seen him caught up in a couple of these wrecks, or a couple of those wrecks in the first half of the race. The second half of this race has been awful clean. They got it out of their system. But Dunkelberger had some misfortune at the start of this race. He qualified quite well in 6th, and we saw him as high as 2nd, and now back in the 9th position. So good run for the 26, getting his sea legs under him here in OSRL Season 6. And DCO Leslie Pearson going at it back here. Go ahead, Josh.
Dunkelberger was definitely one of the ones that really benefited from that long run, just to be able to pick his battles and go after it one by one. He's going to get rewarded with a top 10 result tonight. Gap between Hawken and Walker is now up to 6/10. Chin is closing the gap for Walker. He's going to have a couple chances to get past the 93. Chris Davis goes for a dive bomb on the 79 of William Schmidt. Schmidt able to get the crossover to stick quite loose off of 4. Going to give Triff Davis the position. It'll be P5 for the 96, but it is about 7/10 to Steve Gibson in 4th. Joshua Chin has caught Aiden Walker at the same time for P2.
This is the battle, and this is the chance that anybody has to get up to Brandon Hawken. I don't know if Aiden Walker has the pace. Josh Chin just might, but it's going to be very tough regardless, as we see 4 laps to go. Walker and Chin both 1/10 slower that last lap. Hawken continues to open up the lead.
What pace Griff has to try and catch the 3-car battle path for 2nd. Jack Painter battling with William Schmidt for 6th at the moment. Painter has the inside on his Kyoto Animation machine. Has been a little bit more conservative in terms of long run pace to try and save his tires a little bit. He's starting to pay off in the short run. It's going to be 2 laps to go and they cross, and he's going to be taking P6 into turn 3.
And William saw that on a run or a few laps ago where it looked like he just got a little bit high off of turn 2 and then hit the wall just the slightest bit, and then just how wide he took the corner added a lot of time to his lap, and it allowed Painter to clear, kind of similar to cutting it through the flat part of the dogleg on the updated version of this racetrack. But as we focus our attention on the important things, Brandon Hawken is 9/10 clear, and he will see the white flag and the Slipstream signs Wild West 125.
If it stays as it is on the track, I believe Hawken will be taking the points lead heading into his bread and butter being a road course race. The spot where we saw him go toe-to-toe with Armstrong last year, but it has been a wild ride for Hawken, and he's going to end up on top with just 2 corners to go.
Hawken was around hard into the wall in the backstretch about halfway through this race. We didn't think he'd have a chance, but he came through, played the strategy perfect, and Brandon Hawken wins at Phoenix in the Slipstream signs Wild West 125. Coming across the line, everybody else back here. There's a battle for position.
Steve Gibson had a scare coming off of turn 4, had put the loud pedal on immediately as soon as he could, nearly clobbered the wall on the inside, nearly lost P5 to Triff Davis, but just had just enough time. It'll be Hawken, Walker, Chin, Gibson, Davis your top 5. Jack Painter, William Schmidt, AJ Green, Ryan Dunkelberger, and Nolan Sanford gets a top 10.
Great job by Sanford. Played the strategy great there, along with Triff Davis. Dunkelberger was the other one who had the nice strategy.
He will be P9 as well.
And Hawken burns it down for the first time this season, and the first time in his first full-time season. Won 3 times last year, but was not eligible for the championship. This time he's going for it and putting forth a strong effort. Aiden Walker as well, putting forth a really nice effort. I don't know, was it last week that we talked to Aiden, or was it the week before? I can't remember. But we've already had a top 3 interview with Aiden Walker, and this will be another one. Joshua Chin finally gets a reward for his strong results, or strong drives, I guess I should say. And we shall wait for Brandon Hawken to.
He's
hop
doing
in.
his Polish victory lap.
He's melting the motherfucker, let me tell you.
I just want to point out my pick won.
Congratulations.
My pick did not win this week. He in fact got wrecked pretty good. Happens to the best of us.
So yeah, Aiden Walker, Brandon Hawken should come out of this as the points leader, but it actually also might be Joshua Chin. Josh is right up there. He's a couple of
right
spots.
up there too.
He's not sure, because if Josh, I think it might be Hawken by like 1 point, because Josh Chin might have led the most laps. But Aiden Walker had a not so fine effort last week, or actually didn't show up last week, rather, at Fontana. That dropped him in the points. This should certainly pick him up. Triff Davis will probably have a solid pick-me-up in the points. Just looking through things. Joe Armstrong definitely going to take a severe hit. AJ Green will continue to be up in there in the points battle. But let's talk to the man who won tonight's race. We talked to him last week as well in his first top 5 of the season, Brandon Hawken. Brandon Hawken, you are the race winner tonight at Phoenix. It was certainly a chaotic race in the first half, and it was topped off in the first half by that wreck involving you and Nate Stewart. I guess just take me through that wreck and what the damage felt like, what the repairs were, and how the car felt afterwards, and how were you able to rebound after that incident?
Man, that was wild. I knew, when I saw, I think there were 5 or so cars that stayed out on older tires, and it was kind of a 50-50 decision. It was like we didn't have too many laps on our tires, but if we stayed out, they were definitely going to be slower. So, it was we had a whole bunch of us on tires and a few that weren't on tires, and I saw them all start to wreck to the inside. So I was like, okay, like I just gotta gun it around here. I'm probably gonna get plowed or collected in the wreck. So I just gassed it up on the outside, and then I saw I'm not sure if it was Nate. He I was just making my way around, then a car just came like flying up into me, and fortunately it got me in the back end and not in the front or anything. So I smashed the wall really hard, but fortunately there was only about a minute 40 something seconds of damage. So I got every caution after that. I just tried to go get it fixed, and then we had that really long green flag run. And I had to start from the back. That was probably the recovery drive of my life right there. That was I was just basically throwing caution to the wind there. I hope I didn't make anybody angry, but I was just sending it, and was fortunately able to catch the lead group there before pit stops, and heard a couple guys coming in. So I was like, you know what, I want to be on the early end of this. So I came in and cycled around with the lead almost. So. And then when the caution came out, there were two cars that pitted well before us that had to come in because their tires were more worn. It put me in the lead, and it just all worked out after that. That was some really great stuff from everybody. I'm glad we had that really long green flag run in there, and then the run to the end was pretty nerve-wracking, but a lot of fun there with William and Josh. And that was definitely a race. It was super difficult, but I'm happy it ended up that way. That was it means a lot more having to like come back from the back and all that stuff. That was just I was just on it the entire time. Just had to drive, and yeah, man, I'm really happy with that.
Yeah, and looking forward to next week going back to Montreal, a track that you like a lot, and last year you ended up just a little bit short. So how does this win? And I guess pretty solid start to the season. I'm not sure if you will be the points leader, but you'll be right up there. How does this win and what happened last year, especially, add to your, I guess, fuel and desire to win next week at Montreal?
Yeah, it'll depend on. I'm not sure if they've changed the fueling situation with clutching and all that stuff in the ARCA car. Probably not. So at least I know that I'll have that in the back of my head. If the race is the same amount of laps, I know what not to do now. So yeah, I'll definitely I'll be better prepared going in and. Yeah, but of course it's going to be super tough. We had some like really great battles in Montreal the last couple of years, and yeah, I'm looking forward to doing some more of that. That was a ton of fun, and yeah, had a really great battle there with my my head. Let's see.
Joe.
It was yes, yeah, great, really great stuff there with wait, sorry, who?
Joe Armstrong.
Oh, Joe Armstrong. Yes, it was Joe Armstrong. Yeah, sorry.
Hey,
really great battle there with him last year, and man, yeah, hope to do that again because Montreal's is a ton of fun, and always great when you get to run these things on a really cool road course. So, yeah, looking forward to that, and yeah, hopefully see you guys next week.
Hell yeah, Brandon Hawken, congratulations on your first win of season 6.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
You too, man. The nicest guy in sim racing right there, Brandon Hawken. And now we get to talk to another man who I believe brought it home second in the Speedway 200. That would be Aiden Walker. That would be a second place finish of the year. Aiden Walker, P2, and that is your, I believe, second place finish in 2 races. I guess how do you balance the feeling of coming in second? I guess a wise man once said second sucks, but you've built up, you've ran well, and you've got some points. How you feeling after this race?
I actually feel incredible about this because I had 0 minutes of practice because right before I got back home, around like 6, my power went out.
Oh no.
It didn't come back until like 8:50. So right before the qualifying happened, I had to turn on my PC, which takes half an hour, it feels like. And I actually had to qualify my brother's computer because, well, this PC was taking forever to load up. Then I throughput while 2 laps down.
Oh, that's what happened. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I saw you go out late. We saw you go out late in qualifying, and you just barely snuck in. You qualified 32nd out of 36 cars, and a lot of people went home. So it was certainly an eventful start for you.
Yeah, and then just most of the race was just working up to the front. Then we had that run where I got up to like 3rd, and I started learning how to drive the car. So that was a very helpful thing right around the midpoint of the race, and right at the end I had slightly too low brake bias, so like the entire run I was just too hard on the right rear on the exit. It was just sliding off, so
Yeah,
it was a very interesting one.
Yeah, certainly. So yeah, good result for you, and you'll probably be pretty high up in the points. How you feeling going next week into Montreal, our 4th different type of track in 4 weeks? How you feel about the road courses and trying to keep up your momentum?
Really, I don't know how I'm gonna do at Montreal. I usually qualify like around 14th, 15th. It's just last season, me and Durston had a lot of contacts, so that kind of got me parked for 2 races in a row.
I think I kind of remember that vaguely.
Yeah, because the week before at Iowa, I got parked for barely anything. So, I mean, most of the time I run really well there. So I think I should be able to drive it a little better. I don't know if we're running ARCA car again there or what. So
yeah, that'll certainly be interesting because I thought it was the Gen 4 for a while last year, but it was the ARCA car.
Last season it was the ARCA car due to us not having skill. Seems like we still don't have that skill, so hopefully we keep the ARCA car.
we shall see. That's up to the lovely admins of OSRL, and we definitely love them for sure. So, yeah, Aiden Walker, congratulations on another top 3 finish, and we'll see you next week. Best of luck up north.
Thank you.
And now we'll talk to Joshua Chin. And these interviews are going. These interviews are kind of a little bit long, but that's kind of my fault. Josh Chin, you brought it home in 3rd and your first top 3 finish in your rookie campaign. You had some pretty strong pace. You were up there leading for a decent amount of the race, and it seems like you had some good long run pace compared to the other guys. Talk about that, the long run, and it seems like the pit strategy was just a little bit on the opposite of what you needed it to be, especially with the caution coming out there.
Yeah, that caution coming out really kind of flipped the race on its head for me. I think if it had stayed green the whole way, I think I would have been okay on tires with Aiden and Brandon coming in a little bit earlier on the short pit, and I would have been able to run them back down and having cleared that back behind. But I can't argue with 3rd place. Gained points on Joe, which was helpful. I thought I was going to gain points on Brandon, and then he had a miracle to come back after the wreck. So I mean, you'll have that in a race that was this chaotic. It was fun. I'd leveled Phoenix, so like this was a great race for me. But man, the 3rd place kind of stings a little bit because it felt like it was a race to lose before that caution came out.
Yeah, and going into next week at Montreal, how are you feeling about that? As a fourth different track type, and yeah, how you feeling going into that? Do you think you'll be able to carry on some positive momentum?
Yeah, I definitely feel like at least a top 5 is definitely on the table. I don't know if I'll have pace to beat Brandon. Kind of a home track advantage for him, and he's just really good at road courses. So
very true.
That's the bigger problem I have, is that I think he's better on me road courses, and we're pretty equal on ovals, and he's gotten the better of me the last 2 weeks. So I gotta try and beat him every way I can. I think it would probably be us fighting for the points most of the season. So tracks like New Hampshire, Indy, I really gotta make a big difference there.
Oh yeah. Well, Josh Shin, we appreciate you being here, and yeah, congratulations on your first top 3 finish.
Yep, thank you guys.
Well, that'll wrap things up for us here at the Puffer Zone Network. We'll take a quick peek at the results page, because that would be silly if we didn't do that.
Quick peek at the results page, and we'll also say congratulations to Daniel Buttafuoco and Eddie Kerner for winning down in Homestead, Miami. They were the winners of the 2 halves of eNASCAR Road to Pro tonight on FTF and Fireball Talks NASCAR.
Say, unless something went fucking disastrous, Matthew Zwack probably made top 20, but I'm not going to say for
Matthew
sure.
Zwack finished P11
and he needed
6.
so he
in
needs
the standings.
What a fucking guy. So
Daniel won the championship.
that is the power of the Puffer Zone.
Yep.
Chris
That's the only reason why they
Frisch
made the
finished 3rd in the Fireball Talks NASCAR leg as well.
Chris Pervalericus, he had a pretty hard impact with what was that? God, off a turn 4, but he was able to come back to 11th. CJ Nemitz, pretty high up there in the points, came back to 12th. Cole Frelick got spun out of 2nd, and I don't think we said his name after that. He came back to 13th. Yeah. First car lap down, Greg Kalhoff in his debut. Adam Sweet finished 12 laps down after calling it quits. Gary Waterworth fell back to 22nd with his tire strategies. Joe Armstrong back in 31st. Your points leader will take a massive hit there. Tyler J. Williams, the race sponsor. Shout out to Slipstream Signs for all they do for OSRL. Nate Stewart involved in a couple of big wrecks. Kiani, and then here are the individuals that did not qualify. So that shall do it for us here on the network of the Puffer Zone. Garrison Hogan has 6 laps to go in NIS, and we're gonna send the people over to him. Give a shout out to Garrison. Give a shout out to Garrison. Give him a follow. He's a cool dude.
He is a cool dude.
Had a lovely time with him in the Daytona infield. There was Jenga occurring at about 2 o'clock in the morning. And,
comically large Jenga.
It was big Jenga blocks. They were very big Jenga blocks, and it was.
You
it was
have
a
to
fun
do like
time.
a judo chop to get them out in case it was kind
No.
of like a little bit of a precarious situation.
I don't think they're that strong, but they're pretty strong. So
Fair.
I might have to give that a shot this this February in
Sometimes you'll need that
Daytona.
explosiveness to get the block out of there. But we will be back this time next week for OSRL from Montreal, Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, and then the next day, Friday night, is the return of Rod Car Night in America, maybe?
So, unfortunately, this isn't official yet, but there is a significant chance of rain in the area for Stafford Springs, Connecticut tomorrow. And the rain date for tomorrow's event would be next Friday. So that would mean that I wouldn't be here. That doesn't mean that Puffer Zone could not put on a broadcast, but in the event that I am not here and the Puffer Zone cannot put on a broadcast, YJ Media will be there to put on the broadcast, and
it'll be on the B.
That will be the case. That will be the case for the foreseeable future. Honestly, at least for season 30, because I might have some other real life commitments. So yeah, if we will inform the people next week if it is in fact on YJ. But yeah, for now, go hang out with Garrison. We'll see you at 9 o'clock for OSRL Montreal, a Puffer Zone time-honored tradition. Thursday, 9 o'clock. God bless. Go watch Garrison.